Hey everyone, this is Damon and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be going over the Sicilian defense for black. The Sicilian defense is the most popular defense against white's opening e4. It jats out pawn to e4 and black responds with c5. Now, this is the most common defense for black to e4 openings for white, and it's actually the best scoring, and most statistics actually prefer d4 on the board as the first white move, just because how well c4 does for black against e4. Even for the top level player, this is going to be most widely used defense for black, and so you definitely want to know for your own game how to play it and the key concepts that you should always keep in the back of your mind when you're offering it. So we are gonna go ahead and look at few of the lines. Future videos will go a little more in depth into different variations that you can get into from the main line, but today we are gonna touch on the key points of the opening and how it looks. So white usually continues with knight to f3, basically trying to gain control of the e5 and the d4 square. Obviously, in the beginning of the game, both sides are trying to gain center control. Black is taking this d4 thrust that white would eventually like to play. Black now is going to respond with d6. Now this does a couple of things. First thing it does is protect his pawn on c5. The second thing it does is white eventually would like to continue just moving up his pawn down the fourth chain, pawn to e5, and so this is chopping that attack, so very good move. He's got a little pawn structure. Keep in mind though that his bishop on f8 is not going anywhere anytime soon, as it is blocked with 3 pawns. After some time you are gonna play e6 or e5 and wanna play bishop to e7, unless you're planning to play dragon and wanna develop your bishop at g7. Once your bishop is on e7, then you can castle after your knight is developed. So this is how we are gonna play. Now your bishop on c8, so you wanna play this b5 pawn to b6 or b5 to put your light squared bishop on this big diagonal. So these are few points very important to look in the beginning. We are gonna see the main line. White thrust forward to take the center control by pushing pawn to d4, and black takes this pawn. Obviously black wanna take the center control. White now has two options. He can take with the knight or with the queen. Obviously you don't wanna take with the queen early on because you don't want your queen involved too early in the game, and if you do take, black can always develop his knight to c6 and white will have to retreat his queen, losing the tempo. So more than likely you will see knight captures the pawn d4. Again, these moves I'm saying shouldn't be done, and if these are done by your opponent, you should definitely take advantage of those moves and exploit the mistakes by your opponent. So from here, black usually continues with knight to f6, basically putting pressure on e4 square and trying to put pressure in the center. White now has to respond to defend this, and the best move is the main line, that is simply knight to c3. Now there are 3 very good variations that we are going to touch on, and in later videos we are going to cover them in a little more depth. First one is Najdorf Sicilian, which is just pawn to a6, and this is very aggressive move. White can no longer come with his bishop and can attack the king. Eventually you can thrust forward this pawn to b5 and it has a defender at a6, and your bishop can come to the long diagonal from outside. It does not look like this move does much, but as you move on, this is actually a very good move. The second variation we are going to look at is the classical variation, which is just the development of the knight here to c6. White can always capture here, and then black can take here with c6, and then thrust forward again to gain the center control in the center. So this is the classical. And the last one is the dragon. A lot of time you'll see people try to bring bishop to g7 and then castle kingside and then build up defense this way. So a lot of different variations that you can do. It is a very good defense. It's a very attacking defense, You can get a lot of good play from it. So these are some of the key points to keep in mind. In later videos, we'll go in more details of the different variation. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a lot. Definitely check the other videos and be sure to subscribe so that you know when the new videos are coming out. Thanks for watching.